Hi, Martin here. This time with a short video about MSFS 2024 and helicopter behavior during takeoff and landing in wind conditions. This is a response to user PassingFad on the MSFS forum who reported this behavior first. Thanks for raising the issue. So what is this about? Flying the H125 in Microsoft Flight Simulator, did you ever notice a strange behavior during liftoff or touchdown? Well, in clear sky conditions, takeoffs are pretty much as they should be. Meaning, as we raise the collective and the helicopter gets light on its skids, you need to add pedal, right pedal in the H125 to be precise, to counter the torque increase. At some point enough lift is given and the helicopter will lift up. If you look onto the input display, this takes a certain cyclic setting to counter the translating tendency, where the helicopter has to list slightly or it would move to the side. And we need a certain pedal setting for the torque. So far so good. As you can see, we can lift off with a chosen pedal and cyclic setting, and only fine adjustments are needed to keep on the ongoing balance in act that is the hover. But in MSFS 2024, if you set it down under the same conditions, at the moment of the skids touching the ground, the helicopter yaws to the side. See? The CFD mode doesn't give any clue in this scenario. The line pattern here looks the same both in the hover and touching the ground. But if we change the conditions, the issue gets more obvious. Let's add strong crosswind and see how that works out. Again, slowly raising the collective, adjusting the anti-torque pedals to a safe lift-off setting, and as soon as the skids leave the ground, there's an excessive amount of yaw. And again, during touchdown, once ground contact happens, a similar effect lets you yaw to the other side. Here it is from the outside. Looking at the CFD pattern reveals the problem. The initial state shows the wind as the major factor. Once some collective is added, a ground effect cushion pattern results. But after loss of ground contact, there's a dropout for a split second, and after that the CFD pattern is similar to the one in a hover but without the wind. And sure enough, on touchdown we get a similar behavior. Please take note that these are no cutting errors. The CFD really behaves like this. I made another test with headwind. In this condition, firstly, the effective translational lift is a key factor, meaning for the helicopter this is like moving at 20 knots. MSFS doesn't react consistently here. It's possible to have a good liftoff. But if the angle is just right here, then the yaw also happens in this situation. And to a lesser extent, so does the touchdown effect. This behavior is not limited to the Asobo H125. Here is, for example, Cowan Sim's H125 with the same issue. And here is the CFD of it. Okay, so to give a little more context, I tried similar situations in X-Plane as a comparison. I chose vSkylab's R44 here because to me it comes across to behave logically and comprehensible in terms of ground contact. It is no apples-to-apples comparison in regard to the H125, as it has a counterclockwise running rotor, a different configuration and a piston engine. But the issue is independent of all of that, so I figured it is the best choice here. So in this situation we are again faced to the north and a 20 knots crosswind hits us from the west. Okay, notice that I'm able to lift off without any unexpected yaw movements. If it looks like I'm struggling to hover, this is because I am. It was very difficult to get footage of a somewhat controlled liftoff. You can really feel that the wind wants to blow you sideways, and due to the wind hitting the tail boom, also it wants to yaw on top of all the tendencies that a helicopter has. Additionally, Explain interprets the crosswind as a strange form of ETL that is dependent on your angle in the wind. So by trying to stay pointed north and on the spot, I had to fine control the collective to neither balloon upwards nor sink to the ground. It would be nice to know if all of that is realistic. I can't say. Also, performing a nice enough touchdown was even harder due to all the effort to keep it steady. But let's keep in mind that this is no desirable hovering practice. If possible, all takeoffs and landings should be done into the wind. For reference, here is a liftoff and touchdown in clear skies and no wind with the R44. It's much easier and there's much less movement. But the point of this shouldn't be that X-Plane does a better job. The point remains that the yaw effect in MSFS isn't something found in another sim with dedicated helicopter physics, that it cannot be a reflection of reality, because in terms of physics I don't see any reason for it to happen like that. And additionally, the CFD behavior says volumes by itself. With that, I'd like to close. Please comment and enjoy flying your favorite sim.